All right. So what's up? We about to get back into our girl. I can't say too much. So I gotta take a break from the readings. I may even um I may even stop doing readings because I'm picking up on some dark ass secrets that motherfuckers got. And my thing is, I'm not here to expose nobody. But I don't want to be doing a reading. I don't know who I'm talking to, and I'm exposing their secrets, and then they get scared and shit. Like, it's definitely getting real. You know what I mean? I don't just, you know, because I had to ask myself. I'm just like, I want to be purposeful with everything that's increasing. Everything in which that is magnetizing. So, I'm just gonna be exclusive out here. You know, um, it's it's just gonna have to be word of mouth to where motherfuckers get readings from me. You know, I don't think that. I think that I just it's too much. I think that is just too much. And I'm just like, well, what if I water it down? But then if I water it down and I'm not really saying all the things that I see, then it makes me dishonorable. So I'm just gonna continue to skill my gifts behind the scenes, but I'm gonna have to be word of mouth. It's gonna have to be for serious shit. Like I can't do like little love readings for people. I can't do like practical healing messages for people. Like it's gonna have to be like some serious shit. And it's gonna have to be some shit to where motherfuckers are gonna have to pay some good money for that shit, cause I'm just like, whoa. I'm starting to see and pick up on a lot of shit. And it's very valuable information, but I mean shit, it's not affecting me. you know but at the same time, it's kind of like I'm blinded too to certain individuals who are around me. Then on top of that, I made contact with a very well hated man in the 70s, in the 1700s, in the 1800s. I don't even know how this man found me. He probably found me for the last year. I have been entering into some very dark spaces. So I'm just like, he must have saw my rainbow signal. It's definitely hard. It's hard to miss a rainbow in pure darkness. So, I'm just like, okay. I don't know what I'm gonna do about this man, but he came to me and he wants healing and he wants redemption. So, he I tell you, boy, you know how some people they change. You've heard of people to where they change music, they change the genre of music, they change the way you do music. This man right here changed people's perspective, and he came up with a system, and his system is still rocking today. Individuals have just elaborated on his system in a way to where it's not as physical, it's more so psychological. But when he created his system, it was to be psychological. But during these times to where it was so sinister, people could not pick up on it. So over the years, as we have evolved throughout generations, his system has been being used. They just come up with smarter ways as to how to build and elaborate on it. And I've seen this system work in all levels, how it works in poverty, how it works in middle class, how it works in higher ups, you know politics and entertainment industry, all of it. So I'm just like, God damn. So, I'm going to have to be taking a big break. I'm going to have to take a big break. This is because I have to adjust to all of this. Things were happening slowly, but it's like now things are speeding up and they're just like in my face. I can't, there's no way that I can ignore it. you know. So he was a very evil man. This is going to be very challenging. But anyway, so I'm gonna need my time. I'm gonna need my space. It's pretty much over for people when it comes to me. when it comes to me, it's pretty much over for people. It's kind of like, there are going to be specific people, but the majority, it seems like it's just going to be the spirit guides, these ancestors, you know. Goodness. Okay, so a little update. I can't say too much about our girl. So we're going to start off. We're going to start off where we left off last time, right? So I go to the restaurant. So the parallel reality, it was this new friend that she met, and it was her. Okay? So I'm gonna tell you, there's a difference in pricing when it comes to Santa Cruz and when it comes to Lagos. Lagos is a little more expensive than Santa Cruz. Okay, so me and my son, we went in there, and I got like just a regular house margarita, and it was $8, right? So the parallel reality that represents her new friend, he charged me $9, right? So I tried to ignore it, but I couldn't. I said, okay, I'm gonna have to speak to him in the spirit. My thing is that if I only come in there for a drink, and then the drink is $8, it's kind of like they know they're not going to be getting much of a tip from me. So it's kind of like he felt as if he was going to take the tip. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna just let it slide, because I'm trying to stay focused on my girl. So I see right now that he's going to be a distraction. So I ended up tipping him $5. Okay, so when I went home and I just chilled for a little bit, like the moment I stepped outside, I was enlightened, because I knew that I wanted to speak to this man's spirit. So I spoke to his spirit, and I was just like, don't steal from people, do not scam, do not con people. And see, when it comes to these type of places, you can expect that, and that's another reason why people do not respect these types of places or the people that come from these places. Because sometimes you have certain individuals, they be scamming the fuck up. It's like they don't have no morals. They're just like little wild beasts. Like you go camping, your car, you leave your car, maybe the window is down. You may have like an apple or some shit in your car, and what happens? Here comes a bear, right? So then the bear comes and messing up your car to get to this apple, right? So I had to talk to him. So he actually answers me back. So his higher self, his spirit, because of course he has no awareness of me. So his higher self defends him by saying he's not this way, but he's trying to do this because he wants to be able to help her. But he has to look out for himself. So everything that he was planning, everything that he was getting and trying to scam on, he's going to split everything with her. So obviously they have opened up within conversation. So the thing is that he has proven himself to be a bad influence. And my thing is, our girl picked it up because she wanted to go out, have a good time, explore more individuals, on the platform or whatever. But after her experience with him, when she found out what was going on, what he was doing, she shifted into being more content, to where she's okay with just staying to herself and focusing in on her brother. She's not so worried about trying to establish like a real life on this platform. So my thing is that I tell you, boy, she got that cutoff game real good, because I felt that shift the next morning. I was just like, damn, what's going on? And my dog, it was my dog. Anubis will sometimes connect to me through my dog. I'm just like, why is he looking at me so intensely? Why is he's just looking at me like he got so much to say? And I mean, things yesterday was definitely like kind of weird in the morning. I had to go to work yesterday, and I'm just like, I have spent a lot of time away from work. I look forward to going back. So why, on the day that I have to go back to work, why is it so heavy? Why have things changed? So I put that together. Our girl has made some changes within, how she wants to kind of like conduct life. I think that her friend may have tried to convince her to get in on the scam of things, the scheme of things. But she stayed true to herself, and obviously she's not feeling that. She didn't want to receive that. Now we're gonna talk about Brother Man and Legos because I got some insight. I knew he was gonna be a challenge. I said, oh, but yesterday I really got insight. I said, oh my God, he's a piece of work. Okay, so our guy in Legos, he's very prideful. I think that he's upset. Something has happened to where he acts as if he has been belittled. He acts as if he's not treated equally. He acts as if he's tired. This is what it's giving me. He's tired of the treatment of individuals in that place. And now he has like such a point to prove to himself. He doesn't feel accepted. He doesn't feel loved. He doesn't feel like there's not too much that he's feeling. So there was a situation, there's somebody around him, and if there's not somebody around him, his spirit guys, there's some type of spirit that's watching him too. And this spirit be jumping in different people with trying to be of assistance to him, but he is not receiving, honey. So I picked up that there was a woman, and she offered to gift him with some things, but he's very prideful. He's definitely not in reception mode. But there's something about this woman to where, she absolutely pays him no mind. So obviously she must know about some of the struggles that he has had, where he is at. Obviously she's very understanding. Okay. I don't know if he has a younger sibling, but it's coming off more as there is a young person that has taken like a liking to him. So in a way, it's like he's mentoring this. I do believe it's a boy. He's mentoring this young boy, but he's not intentionally mentoring him. So I'm just like, he is overlooking this little boy. He is not paying attention. I'm just like, he needs this type of a challenge because he is masculine. He is like the authority. He is the father, So he needs some type of role. He needs some type of practice because this is what's going to help him energetically and help him with a new perspective. Something a little more optimistic. I'm trying to tell you, he just seemed like he's just angry. People talking to him and he's trying to argue about being right about the stupidest shit. I was just like, what is wrong with him? I said, he got his guards up. Why is he so guarded? But, personally, I don't necessarily know, what he has been going through, but he has his reasons. But at the same time, I'm just like, he need to be working on that mental health. Okay? I don't think he knows what mental health is, but if he takes on working with this young boy, it will help him to be able to self-reflect on a lot of things. Okay? I said, boy, he gonna be a piece of work. So now the thing is, though, is that with him being guarded, he is protecting him and he is protecting her too. Now the thing is that it's not aligned, right? With him not being receptive, he's protecting himself from receiving positive things. But when it comes to her, he's protecting her from receiving negative things, like negative influence. Because after she encountered her friend and what was going on, she decided like she just want to stay in the place to where she stays. She doesn't want to come out. She really doesn't want to mingle. She wants to stay focused on her brother. Okay. So here is the connection when she shifts from his protection, when she shifts, focuses on her brother, the chain reaction is supposed to be he's going to take on this other little boy or young man as a mentor. He's going to mentor him. Okay, because this little boy be following him all the time everywhere. He sees that the little boy wants to be like him, and that opened him a little bit, because it seems like he's not well perceived where he's at, but he has this kid that's just like, I want to be like you, so he likes it, but of course he's not showing it. He's not, intentionally taking on the challenge. I believe that this little boy, well, I don't know too much about the little boy. I did hear that his mother passed. His mother passed. Obviously he doesn't like his dad, because he's not following down behind his dad, wanting to be like his dad. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's just my assumption. I don't know. So I was just like, okay, I'm starting to see how things are working. Now, the change in how I am connecting to everybody is the change. Okay, so that is what I cannot expose about how I'm going to be connected. You know, at first, it was all about the outside, how I am connected to them externally, through the eyes of people on the outside. So, we're just going to be connected more inward now. So, I said, okay, now I know who my energetic exchanges need to go towards. So I said, let me help this brother out because he is uptight, he is upset, and he got a lot of things going on the inside of him. Now he don't take it out on the little boy, but the little boy do be irritating him a lot. But he do manage to keep it together, like he don't spaz out on the little boy or anything. He's not mean to him. He don't push him away or anything. He wants the little boy to work with him, but he's being hard on himself because he doesn't have anything to where he can offer the little boy like payment. But the little boy is not worried about that. So I was just like, let me open him up because he is he is real upset. So of course, when it comes to the masculine, tools, materials that he can use. You know what I'm saying? So when it came to this old woman, she had a gift for him. He's just like, oh, no, you need it more than I do. Blah, 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 blah. Being prideful. Like, I'm pretty sure if she needed it, I'm pretty sure she knows she wouldn't be able to give it to you. So if she's giving it to you, then obviously she can spare it. So he wouldn't take it out of her hand. So she left it to where he sleeps. He's not going to go find her and give it back to her. You know what I'm saying? At this point in time, it's kind of like once he sees her again, he'll say thank you to her, but she's gonna disappear for a while. I don't know if he's gonna go look for her or not. I think that he's pretty busy. He probably doesn't have time to look for her. It's probably so crowded. So he received it. When he got to where he resides at, he saw that what he needed was there. So today, there's definitely been a shift within him. Okay? So he's a lot happier. Sometimes you just need to know that somebody cares about you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know too much about his backstory, about his parents or his family. It's him on his own, and it seems like he has been on his own for quite a bit. But I kind of think that when he came over to Lagos, he thought that maybe he was going to be finding something different. And then it's kind of like he just can't leave. It's like he worked hard to get over there. And when he realized it wasn't what he thought it was going to be, he can't just decide, oh, he's going to leave. Now he has to work his way out of there. One thing, too, I'm questioning, I wonder why. Because when I did research, well, for one, Lagos is land, but this guy, our guy, he is residing in Makoko. So that is like a floating island in Lagos. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I wonder why he's there instead of migrating to the land. But, I don't know. I don't really know too much of what's going on with him, so we got to do some investigation. So he's in his head a lot. Like nobody cares about him. Sometimes he feels like he's never going to get out of there, blah, blah, blah. I said, oh my God. Like they're sending you help. You keep rejecting it because you're being prideful. So, I was just like, leave that shit there. And he received it. He definitely received it because I felt something different from him. I said, oh, our guy must be feeling happy. So, we are elevating into the love vibes because, the days are starting to run together, and I'm having dreams and I'm projecting throughout the day. So I said, wow, the timing is changing. I mean, I think we are going through daylight savings. I don't know. I done lost track of, all the worldly things that go on, I wonder, do other places have daylight savings, or is it just us? If that's the case, that makes no sense. Like, why do we? Well, I guess because it gets darker or some shit faster. I mean, whatever. But we're moving into spring, so it's gonna spring forward. Okay, so I guess we're preparing for springing forward, but it's not February. Is not even here yet. So I mean, whatever, whatever, whatever. So I mean, that's pretty much like a lot of what I have going on is consuming the fuck out of my energy. I'm just like, wow. I'm using like a lot of power, and I didn't even realize it. You know, I started working back on my animation. I had been hearing get back into it, get back to it, get back into it, but I'm just like, I don't know the storyline. So I believe that somebody has entered, and this person is having to start over within their life. So I said, you know what? Let's help this person start off to a good start, you know. So I'm just like, okay, boom, I got my storyline. It's okay. Because I was trying to figure out something, because I wanted to create an actual episode, like create an actual show, But I'm just like, I don't want to do anything entertaining. Like everything I do, I want the shit to be purposeful. You know, that's what I do with most of my creations. But I will admit, I just kind of taken a break from being so intentional and just relaxing more of my mind. But I feel like, well, with these gifts, I need to be very intentional, because shit be happening, and I'm just like, oh, I got to be careful. So I mean, that's pretty much of our update with our girls. So everything now is just going to be pretty much working behind the scenes with everything. So so I told myself, the readings take a lot of my energy. So, we're just going to chill on the readings. People are not hitting me up anyway for readings. It's not like I have like a clientele or anything. So I was just like, well, I can sacrifice the readings. I'll just continue to use my tarot as, just keeping me up with my intuition. And I'm going to allow for God to bring people to me when it comes to my readings. I'm not going to put myself out there, like I'm not going to like market myself for no readings. Because it's getting to a point to where, it's some deep secrets coming out. So, okay, I don't want no problems. I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna expose nothing. If you got questions, if you want understanding, then you know what time it is. But other than that, and I'm gonna have to price that shit. I felt like I should do my readings. I feel like with spiritual word, some of this shit should be free. It's like water. I think water should be fucking free. That makes no sense. But the thing is that we pay for clean, convenient water. But it's just like, well, you could get a faucet filter, and you can be paying to drink water through your filter. But whatever. So and I'm charging $150 for my readings, cause it's like that. My thing is that it been like that. But I guess in the way in which that I was doing it, it just, I don't know. I guess I was still kind of in the matrix with how I wanted to establish my reading. I think that I have found more understanding and value of my gifts. So it's kind of like, well, I tried to be nice. I tried to be good, because when I help motherfuckers, I really be helping their asses. When they really need information, I be giving them the information that they need. But, I said, baby, I might start charging a couple of... I said I'm about to start charging a couple of $100, but God said 150. So I said okay. So that's where we at with. But I mean, there's not much to talk about. You know, we may come when things shift and change once again for our girl. Then I can be more in detail. But I just kind of feel like I'm working a lot with the masculine because I see how his energy is expanding. It's expanding with with her. So he's putting out a lot of energy, a lot of that spirit, a lot of that mind. With him protecting her in that way, it's like he has pushed her into her feminine, her emotion, her emotion and her spirit. So he's mental and spirit, she's emotional and spirit. So I said, well, he the one that need more of the work right now. But this brother, he done seen some very dark things. In a way, I just kind of feel like he's trying to run away from certain images within his mind too. So we gonna work on him. But I mean, that's gonna be it. So until next time, we'll talk again.